All right, so we are recording. Now let me share the screen and we'll get started again. All right, so we're looking at the fourth of the 8 natural healing remedies. The first one being nutrition for the letter N, and then the second one that we studied was exercise with the letter E, and the third one that we studied was 2 weeks ago, water with the letter W, and that forms the first word, new. And then the second word is start, S-T-A-R-T. And so tonight we're going to look at the S of the second word, and it's called sun exposure. All right, so we're going to just work our way through the benefits of sun exposure and some basic facts about the sun. The surface of the sun is approximately 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature in the interior of the sun, in some places of it, gets up to 18 million degrees. So it's an amazing ball of energy, and it has a huge impact on planet Earth and on each one of us. At the turn of the 20th century, the vitamin D deficiency disease was known as what?
Rickets.
Did you ever hear anybody talking about rickets?
No, not really.
Yeah, I think.
Heard about it, yes, but I don't think that was, I don't know.
Right, that was certainly a disease in bygone eras, but not today. All right, so at the turn of the 20th century, the vitamin D deficiency disease, rickets, a disease that makes children's bones become soft and weak, was rampant. And take a look at why. Thanks to city life, the shade of buildings, and coal soot in the air.
Oh, yeah.
So surprising to me that just blocking out the sun's rays had such a profound impact on the lives of people. All right, so the dairy industry, what scientists discovered why and what was causing this rickets disease and how to treat it. So the dairy industry started fortifying milk with vitamin D, and the beer industry started fortifying beer with the sunshine vitamin D. Now there are healthier options like orange juice fortified with vitamin D. Do any of you drink anything that is fortified with vitamin D?
No, I don't.
Okay, you've seen that one already maybe, but does anybody know what the recommended daily allowance of vitamin D is for each one of us?
Doesn't it vary from 600 to 1,000?
Correct. It's somewhere in that range, depending on each individual person. Generally speaking, they will say that the U.S. RDA of vitamin D is 600 international units per day for most adults. All right, so 600 international units, that's not a huge amount, but it certainly makes a difference. In order to reach the recommended intake levels, it would take 15 to 20 cups of milk, beer, or orange juice, all of them fortified with vitamin D, in order to get you up to that level. So they're not putting a great deal of supplements in those beverages, but to get those kinds of doses, it really comes down to either getting out in the sun and getting the exposure, or taking supplements, because realistically nobody's going to drink 15 or 20 glasses of any of those beverages. All right, sunlight supplies 90 to 95% of vitamin D for most people, and we're going to look at that in just a moment, how much sunlight gives how much vitamin D. So vitamin D toxicity is known as hypervitaminosis D, and it's rare, but potentially serious condition that occurs when you have excessive amounts of vitamin D in your body. All right, so where does a person get excessive amounts of vitamin D?
Sun.
Okay, the sun. All right, that's
Or
one idea. Anybody else?
supplement.
Okay, supplements. When you have your physical exam and when you have your blood work done, and you see that, or the doctor sees that your vitamin D level is low, then he's probably going to recommend that you start taking vitamin D supplements. And
Right.
how many milligrams of vitamin D is he going to tell you to take?
1,000.
Okay, 1,000. My dentist told me that if my vitamin D was low, he said vitamin D plays a key role in the formation and health of bones. He said, I'm going to put you on 5,000 to 10,000 international units a day.
Wow.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm taking 5,000 now.
Okay. Is that a doctor's recommendation?
I've listening all those doctors talking about that now
Okay.
for the kind of prevent from the virus. I don't know, will help.
Well, today, this evening, we're going to help you understand more about vitamin D in our bodies. And if you like, we're going to help you save a lot of money. All right. Vitamin D toxicity is usually caused by large doses of vitamin D supplements, not by diet or sun exposure. All right, so we'll get to this here shortly. That's because the body regulates the amount of vitamin D produced by sun exposure. And even fortified foods don't contain large amounts of vitamin D. In other words, if all I need is 600 international units a day, if I get more sunlight than I'm supposed to, my body stops producing vitamin D so that I don't get a toxic amount. All right, 50,000 American cancer deaths may be attributable to low vitamin D levels that could be avoided by more sunlight exposure that would only kill at most 12,000 Americans from skin cancer. So we could save 50,000 lives by people getting more sun, and the risk of skin cancer for those 50,000 people would be 12,000. So the benefits of more sun outweighs the risks of, by a ratio of 50,000 versus 12,000. So just by people getting more sunlight, at the worst case scenario, it would save 38,000 lives. So that's pretty remarkable. All right, here is the most incredible, or one of the most incredible things tonight. How much vitamin D does the sun produce in your body or my body if we're out in the sun 10 to 15 minutes?
Enough.
It's
Wow.
10,000.
10,000
Look at
just
that.
for 15.
10,000 international units from 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure.
Good to know that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, that is.
I mean, if you go out, let's say you're wearing a bikini or a swimsuit of some kind or whatever, and you lay on a towel on your tummy for 5 minutes, and then you roll over and lay on your back for 5 minutes, bam, you just took a massive vitamin D pill. If your body needs that much, and if it doesn't need that much, it's not going to make that much. All right. Which contributes to a decrease of 10 to 15 minutes, 10,000 international units, contributes to a decrease of risk for many types of cancer, including breast, prostate, colon, lung, ovary, bladder, uterus, esophagus, stomach, kidney, pancreas, I guess we get kidney in there twice, multiple myeloma, and non-Hodgkin's disease. So that's something like 13 or 14 kinds of cancers are directly helped by going out in the sun. Vitamin D increases the survival rates once cancer reaches a detectable stage. So that's a very profound thing as well. So just getting out in that sun is going to help us. All right, now we're going to look at 15 different factors in detail about the sun and what it does. All right, so number one, sun exposure does what?
Lowers blood pressure.
All right, lowers blood pressure. Do you know anybody who's on blood pressure medication?
I do.
Everybody.
I wonder if the doctors encourage them to go outside and get 10 to 15 minutes a day. I wonder about that. All right, here's how it works. When sunlight touches the skin, it causes the blood vessels to release nitric oxide that causes the blood vessels to relax and widen. All right, so when the blood vessels relax and widen out, what does that do to the blood pressure?
Blood flow.
Okay.
It lowers it. All right, lower blood pressure reduces the risk of heart attack and strokes and prolongs life. And C, sunlight strengthens the cardiovascular system. It improves circulation, it lowers the heart rate, and normalizes the blood pressure and blood sugar. Fourth, the red blood cells function better after your body is exposed to sunlight. So it's remarkable what the sun does to our blood circulation. The sun thermal energy thins, that's supposed to be thins the blood, or makes it less viscous or sticky and easy to flow through the blood vessels. So when the sun warms us up, it thins the blood and makes it flow better. All right, I'm going to just check and see if there's anybody trying to get into the room. Oh, hang on one second.
Riley.
Yeah. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome to iPad, and welcome to Lois. All right.
Sorry.
Whose little poochie woochie is that?
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to mute you so that we.
Okay, please.
There you go. Thanks. All right. Let's get back to sharing the screen now. We've let 3 more people in. All right. So secondly, sun exposure improves bone health. All right. How does that work? Well, vitamin D stimulates the absorption of bone strengthening calcium and phosphorus in the body. So if your vitamin D level is up, your body's going to absorb the calcium and the phosphorus better. And B, there is a direct correlation between bone density and vitamin D3, which is formed during the manufacture of vitamin D when the sunlight hits the skin. Higher levels of D3 lowers the risk of all types of fractures. Today I was talking with Susan after we both got done with work, and she works for Little Company of Mary and is at the Transitional Care Center. And so the Transitional Care Center is a place that it doesn't provide the acute care that you'll get in the hospital. Like they don't do surgeries there and those types of things, but they do provide you with very good second layer of care. And after you've been in the hospital for a few days or whatever, then if you're not strong enough to go home, then they'll send you or me to the Transitional Care Center, and they nourish us and nurture us back to life. And if so, we go home, and if not, then we go to a nursing home. So today, Susan was telling me about one lady who fell and broke her hip, and how this lady's family had come to the Transitional Care Center and was knocking on the window, trying to get the grandma to wake up so that they could, talk on the phone or something. the lady was very sound asleep and Susan couldn't wake her. But the big question of falling and breaking your hip is, what took place first?
The fall with the,
Did somebody fall, and was that what broke their hip? Or were their bones so weak that just standing there, the hip fractured and caused them to fall?
Huh.
So
The
there's
second one. The
Second
second one.
the
If the
second
hip
one,
broke first and then they fell.
Really?
that seems to be
Is that-
the diagnosis a lot of the time. And, you know, it's just so sad that there are,
Wow.
that happens, and it doesn't have to happen. And it's just so easily preventable. All right, so vitamin D is a significant boost and lowers the risk of all types of fractures if we have the right levels in it. And we can get all the vitamin D3 we need from the sun. All right, vitamin D and calcium and better calcium absorption help to prevent osteoporosis and tooth decay and speeds bone repairs. So the doctor's orders should be, along with exercise and good nutrition and lots of water, 15 minutes of sun every day. All right,
Pastor, may I ask a question?
please.
So what I'm gathering from everything you're saying and all the information you're giving us is that the sun gives us enough of what we need, plus exercise and good nutrition, especially if we eat a lot of the veggies, leafy greens. So then why is it that every time we go for our physical and we get the blood test, the doctors is prescribing us to take a certain amount of vitamin D? Is it vitamin D supplements? If we're getting enough from nature, from the way we're eating, is it just them pushing more pills?
Well, I'll do my best to answer that. So my doctor,
Mhm.
they pay me $100 to go in and get a physical. So I go in every year and I get $100, right?
Right.
And my doctor says, I tell all men over 40,
Mhm.
take a baby aspirin.
Okay.
And I said, okay, doc, why? And he said, because baby aspirin acts like a mild blood thinner.
Okay.
And he says, if you have thin blood, it's better for everything. Better for blood pressure, it's just better for everything. All right.
Okay.
Well, and I think that would be called a prophylactic. That's a preventive measure. I don't do that because I am on the 8 natural healing remedies of nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, and my blood pressure is always perfect.
Right.
So I think that there's probably, most people are not getting enough vitamin D.
Okay.
I mean, do you mind if I put you on the spot just a little bit?
Sure, not at all.
How long would you say you were out in the sun, direct sunlight today?
I want to say about an hour.
Really?
Yes.
So the sun was hitting large parts of your body for approximately an hour?
Yes, because I went for a walk for about an hour.
Okay.
Or about 30 minutes, and then I was running errands outside for about another 30. So yes.
Okay. And how often do you do that?
Lately, not often, but at least 3 times a week. The walk at least 3 times a week.
And do you have do you get the vitamin D test as part of your blood panel blood test?
Yes.
And does the doctor look at it and tell you it's low, or do you look at it and see that it's low, or is it both?
He it explains it to me. Sometimes it's hard to understand all those numbers on those lab results.
Right.
But of course, you know, he's your doctor. You have to trust what he says. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's okay. It's just, I guess it's fluctuated throughout the years every time I go get an exam.
Okay. Well, I'm not a doctor, and I would encourage you to follow what your doctor says.
Okay.
But this is the science behind how sunlight impacts our body and vitamin D levels. And if we are really diligent about getting 10 to 15 minutes a day,
Yeah.
we will have potentially 10,000 international units a day. And all we need is how much? 600.
And
So, you know, there's plenty enough available
Yeah.
just from the sun if we are diligent to do it.
Okay.
Okay, and this is interesting in terms of the mechanics of how the sun manufactures vitamin D. It is a fat-soluble vitamin, and the sunlight converts cholesterol in our bodies into vitamin D, and that helps to lower the blood cholesterol in our body.
Okay.
So that's a remarkable thing. Low levels of vitamin D has been linked to other diseases, from multiple sclerosis to prostate cancer. So vitamin D has probably been undervalued in our society. Point number 3, sunlight improves brain function. Cognitive function is reduced in people with lower vitamin D levels. So it affects how our brain works. Sunlight stimulates nerve cell growth in the hippocampus of the brain, which is responsible for forming, organizing, and storing memories. So, you know, that's pretty much what life is, as a collection of memories, right? And nobody wants to lose their family photos, and nobody wants to lose their memories. And that's one of the horrors of Alzheimer's.
right.
Sun exposure eases mild depression. Sunlight deprivation can cause seasonal affective disorder, SAD, a form of depression common in winter months. In what states?
On Northeast, wherever it's cold and dreary winter, and that's the Northeast.
Have you known anybody that lived in the Northwest, Seattle, Portland?
I know somebody that lives there, but I don't know if that affects them or not. My
It's-
mom was affected by that almost every year.
Wherever the sun doesn't shine, in Portland and Seattle, they say they have 3 months of beautiful, amazing weather in the spring or summer, and 9 months of drizzle, drizzle, drizzle.
Oh, wow.
So you're exactly right. They deal with it there. It's also common in people who work long hours in office buildings and seldom get out into the sun. So moderate sun exposure can relieve SAD and other forms of mild depression. On sunny days, the brain, now here, this is great. On a sunny day, the brain produces more serotonin, a mood-lifting chemical, than on darker days. So,
John, I think, this is Barbara speaking. I think that in the Midwest, where women or families are snowbound,
Right.
they really go into that depression. I saw it with my sister in the
oh,
winter.
wow.
She couldn't get out.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good point. Absolutely. So, you know, getting out in the sun. I mean, if you get out and go for a walk, don't you just feel better?
Yes.
Yes.
I think generally speaking, you just feel better. And I mean,
It
there's so
clears
many,
your mind.
Exactly, it helps your mind. And here's the science behind it. Because the sun is causing your brain to produce more serotonin, a mood-lifting chemical. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons. C, sunlight soothes the nerve system and gives a sense of well-being by increasing what?
Endorphin.
Endorphin production in the brain.
Endorphin.
So the sun kicks all of these parts of our body that are producing all of these hormones in, and we just feel better. All right, sun exposure improves sleep quality. So if you have sleep issues, or if you know somebody that does, you know, here's something to think about. When sunlight hits our eyes, the pineal gland in the brain and the production of melatonin, a hormone that makes us drowsy and helps us sleep. All right, when the sunlight hits our eyes, the production of melatonin is shut down until the sun goes down. All right, so sunlight helps to keep us awake, and then darkness kicks in and produces more melatonin, and that helps us to sleep. Your body gets the signal, and this helps maintain a normal circadian rhythm. And what is a circadian rhythm? It's basically the awake rhythm and the sleep rhythm that we all experience. And you know, when you travel halfway around the world, it messes up your circadian rhythm until, you know, it takes a few days until you can get over jet lag. All right. 6, sun exposure lessens Alzheimer's symptoms. Alzheimer patients exposed to the sun throughout the day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., followed by the darkness at night, scored better on mental exams.
Wow.
So, you know, I love you guys all so dearly, and I pray that you nor I nor any of our loved ones are impacted by this Alzheimer's disease, because it's terrible.
Very
All right,
sad.
so
Very sad.
it says they scored better on mental exams and improved some aspects of the disease: less depression, nighttime wakefulness, less agitation, and they lost less function. So the sun is so good and so helpful in so many ways. Number 7, it heals some skin disorders. All right, it promotes the healing of acne, psoriasis, eczema, jaundice, and other fungal skin infections. So the sunlight can, you know, 15 minutes a day can really be beneficial. All right, it boosts, this is really interesting. I was shocked with this one. Sun exposure boosts growth in children. This is especially true for infants. The amount of sun exposure in the first few months of a baby's life has an effect on how tall the child grows.
Wow.
Wow, that's something.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that really is.
So, you know, if moms or dads are giving their baby tummy time at the park in the shade, it might be better if they would give that baby tummy time on a towel or a blanket in the sun, you know, for 5 or 10 minutes. The sun exposure enhances the immune system. Okay, so this is extremely significant, because if we have strong immune systems, we're going to fight off this coronavirus. Sun exposure can help suppress an overactive immune system, which can explain why sunlight is used to treat autoimmune diseases like psoriasis, Crohn's, rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes, MS, and obesity. All right, so it can help to suppress this overactive immune system that's causing these problems. White blood cells increase with sun exposure, and they play a key role in fighting diseases and defend the body against infection. All right, so the white blood cells increase with sun exposure. Antibodies are increased too. These effects can last how long?
3 weeks.
3
3
weeks.
weeks. Wow.
That's just remarkable. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to pause and see if there's anybody else trying to get into the room. All right, we're good. All right, we'll get back to. All right, so I think we all know this next one to some extent. Sunlight kills many germs, and it is the most natural and effective antiseptic available to us. And it increases our gamma globulin, boosting our immune system. Have you ever slept in sheets that were dried in the sun?
Yes.
What do they smell like?
Fresh air. It's
Oh.
nice smell. It's unbelievable, but you don't do that here. Everybody sticks everything in the dryer.
In the dryer, exactly. And so sunlight kills germs. I mean, it's just amazing. It's the best and most natural available antiseptic, and boosts our gamma globulin, and that boosts our immune system. So, I mean, there's very good science and good reason to get the sun. Let the sunlight into your rooms. The sun can kill harmful microbes there. I mean, didn't your mom say, or didn't somebody say to you, oh, open up the windows and let the sunlight in?
Mhm.
I think that's a fairly common thing. And so if we do that, it will kill harmful microbes in our rooms. This is interesting. Lightly tanned skin resists germs and infection much better than untanned skin.
Yeah.
So it's good all the way around. All right, number 10. Sun exposure reduces the risk of certain cancers. Vitamin D deficiency increases the risk of many cancers, especially breast cancer and colon cancer. Eating whole foods and getting some sun can send breast cancer into what?
Remission.
Into remission. I mean,
That's amazing. That is amazing.
get that. I mean, that's just, wow, that's good. Now, I'm going to share with you this document in a PDF form. I'm going to tell you where you can get it on our website. And I listed all of the sources of this information at the bottom. So you can check it out. It's some from Harvard, some from Mayo Clinic, from very reputable organizations. All right, vitamin D supplementation produces a dramatic 60% drop in the risk of developing any form of cancer. So if you and I have a healthy, high level of vitamin D, it really helps to stave off cancer. All right, number 11, sun exposure aids in digestion and weight loss. Can you imagine that?
Oh,
You're probably seeing the commercials that I'm seeing on TV where they talk about gastric bypass surgery and how it saved my life and I lost 140 pounds. And but look here, sun exposure aids in our digestion and weight loss. Let's look more deeply at it. All right, it increases the metabolism by stimulating thyroid production. Okay, so the sun stimulates our thyroid to produce more of the hormone. B, hunger is controlled by the hypothalamus, which works with serotonin and helps relieve hunger. All right, so kind of putting the pieces of this puzzle together. When the sun hits our skin, it boosts the serotonin, and that's a mood elevator. And boosted serotonin helps to relieve hunger. So if I go out in the sun, apparently it helps to relieve my hunger. Lack of sunlight causes a drop in serotonin level, which can result in the feeling of fullness not being achieved.
You know, excuse me, John, I walk the beach every morning for 2 hours.
Okay?
And that is very true about when I come home, you'd think I'd be starving because I don't eat breakfast first because I have thyroid. I have to take a thyroid pill. And when I come home, it takes me a long time to decide, okay, I'm probably almost eating my lunch rather than breakfast. I combine it because I'm not hungry when I come home. So that's really, for me, very true. And I'm in the sun. So I don't know. I guess I should be the healthiest specimen on the earth then, right?
Well, you are, because didn't you just celebrate your 110th birthday?
I'm going on 115.
Right on, girl, right on. Okay, so the sunlight, if it helps me to feel full, I'm going to eat less, and that's going to help me lose weight. All right? Sunlight will help you control your appetite. And now we understand the science behind it, because serotonin is produced when sunlight hits our skin, and serotonin is the mood elevator, and serotonin gives us the sensation of fullness. And so there you go. All right, number 12. Sun exposure enhances waste elimination. Ooh, this is interesting.
Huh.
How does that work? Well, exposure to the sun improves liver function. Exposure to the sun helps the kidneys by eliminating waste through the skin when you what?
But
When you sweat. Absolutely. Today, I went for a long walk this morning and got my 10,000 steps in. And then I was over at the church working on all the things I have to work on every day, every week. And I said, oh man, I've got to get up and move. So I just went walking around outside a little bit. And then I realized that the gardener missed trimming back the ice plant that's been growing, encroaching on our driveway, and a flowering bush on the other side is also encroaching on our driveway. And I brought some tools with me today, so I went out and cut the bush back and chopped the ice plant back and threw it all in the dumpster. And by the time I was done, I'd worked up a good sweat.
sure.
And I'll tell you, some of that sweat dripped down into my eyes, and it stung like crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That happens. Yes.
So what's in sweat that stings?
Sweat,
Salt.
salt.
Exactly, salt, and probably other toxins as well. And so when you sweat, you're eliminating some of those toxins and waste products through your skin, and that gives your kidneys a little bit of a break. So that's a good thing. All right, sun exposure helps to alleviate pain. Wow. All right, how does that work? Well, here are a couple points. It soothes swollen arthritic joints. So if you get out there in that sun, it can help to soothe any joint pain. Secondly, it relieves some symptoms of PMS, premenstrual syndrome. All right, number 14, the sun exposure reduces risk of type 2 diabetes. How does that work? Well, vitamin D plays a significant role in the production of insulin. And insulin, remember how insulin works? So your body has trillions of cells, and each one of those cells needs what kind of food? What is the food that feeds all of our cells? It's a kind of sugar.
Glucose.
Glucose, exactly. So the glucose needs to get inside our cells to give energy to that cell so that it can do whatever the cell is supposed to do. Maybe it's a heart cell, maybe it's a brain cell, maybe it's a muscle cell or a bone cell. All right. The thing that unlocks the door for the sugar, blood sugar, the glucose to get into the cell is insulin. And so if my insulin production is down and I'm not getting enough insulin, the sugar can't get out of the blood into my cells, and so our blood sugar goes spiking way up, and that can be very dangerous. So vitamin D plays a significant role in the production of insulin. There's a positive association between insulin deficiency and vitamin D deficiency. So it can help you stave off type 2 diabetes. All right, sun exposure promotes eye health. Wow, who would like to keep their eyesight until the very end?
Got it.
I think that's all of us. How does
All of
that work? Well, vitamin D has been linked to improved vision and improved eye aging. So getting enough vitamin D will help to keep that going. The effect that the rays of sun have, not the effect that the rays of the sun have, not only a beneficial, but a curative effect on the eyes. So getting some sun exposure to our eyes is good. So here are some conclusions. Number one, sunshine has its benefits, but it is still the #1 cause of skin cancer. So that means what?
Put some sunscreen on.
Exactly. Put some sunscreen on. And here in Southern California, and particularly in the South Bay, we have these gorgeous miles and miles of beaches. So what should we do at the beach? Put the sunscreen on, and then what?
And clothes.
I don't think we need to be sun-ophobic, but we also don't need to be sun worshipers.
Right.
And, wear long sleeve clothes and wear a hat and put on sunscreen and, go jump in the water. All right.
Cold.
Secondly, get no more than 15 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight daily for a healthy adult. So if you are diligent about getting that every day, I'd be really interested to hear what your next blood panel says about your vitamin D. I'm sure it would go up. C, skin color. Skin color, where you live, and how much skin you expose to the sun affect how much vitamin D you can produce. And so, I just started after doing all this research and putting this together. I was talking with Susan and saying, we've got to make sure that we are practicing these 8 natural healing remedies in our life every day. So on Sunday, I think, we both put on our bathing suits and went out and laid in the sun, and she set a timer on her phone for, I think, 8 minutes, and I promptly fell asleep. And then after 8 minutes, she woke me up, John, come on, wake up. And I'm like, why? She said, it's time to turn over. So we turned over and got another 8 minutes worth of sun. All right, so that is the presentation that I put together for you tonight. Do you have any comments or questions or observations?
Don, I have a question.
Yes.
Why hasn't my physician pointed out the benefits of D? He reads my blood panel and says, it's low, take more, or, well, do you want a shot? But he never goes into what you just presented. What's the deal?
You're not paying him enough money. You know what? I'll tell you, please. Okay, again, I'm not a doctor. I am very deeply, deeply interested in health and well-being. And I've, just attended so many conferences and read so many books. And, I've researched the writings and the work of the expert scientists and the doctors. And I think, to be honest with you, okay, what some of my friends have said is that medical schools today are largely funded by pharmaceutical companies.
You're right.
Yes.
And
Oh,
so
wow.
what does the pharmaceutical company then want the doctor to do?
Sell more
The
drugs.
pill. Oh,
Pills.
the pill. Push the
Exactly.
pill.
Sell more drugs and sell more pills. And
Got it.
Yes.
And I think the way the insurance industry works is such that the doctor can only take what, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes with everybody.
Mhm.
15.
You're a number.
And you've got to keep seeing more patients and more patients and more patients. And my guess is they're doing the best they can with the
Mhm.
information they have and with the pressure they're under. But honestly, doctors do not study nutrition.
They don't. They don't. Yeah.
And I mean, I've had my friends who are doctors tell me that.
Yeah.
And many of the doctors who come and speak at our cooking school or at our other
Mhm.
events say to me, and it's very humbling, but they say to me, John, what you and Susan are doing for the community
It's
is
amazing.
giving them the best medicine that any of these people will ever
Mhm.
get.
You're right.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
right.
And that's just shocking and
Yeah.
stunning to me. Because, I mean, come on, the sun is free, right?
Mhm.
And eating carrots and eating potatoes and eating tomatoes, I mean, potatoes are dirt cheap.
Yes.
And,
So good.
you know, you can go to the 99-cent store and you can buy a bag of carrots for 99 cents. Come on,
That's where I was today.
I knew
I
that,
was replenishing there today.
you know? And, you know, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed at all. I mean, truthfully,
No.
we get most of our produce from Costco because their produce is usually pretty good.
Yes.
And we like it. And I mean, you know, Costco serves a free senior lunch every day. All the food samples, come on.
I got it.
Are they still doing that now? Do they do
Well,
that
I don't know.
now?
They quit doing it, and I heard somebody say, yeah, we got to get those free food samples back at Costco. Our seniors are starving to death.
Yeah.
I heard from 15th of June. They planning to start 15th of June, but I don't know if that is gonna be like really that
I mean,
date.
listen, you can buy a big old 15-pound bag of organic carrots at Costco for like $3 or $4. And you know, I mean, it's not expensive to eat well and healthy, and it doesn't all have to be organic. And it's just sad that doctors apparently don't know.
They're not talking about the benefits of vitamin D. That's what you just gave me. It's more than I've ever heard from my physician.
Wow. So what I want to do for you, and again, I'm sorry, I'm kind of slow to figure all these things out, is I put the summary version, actually everything that was on the screen is on a PDF on our church website. So if you go to southbaychurch.net
Mhm.
and you click on the link that says Back to Basics, on the right-hand side near the top of that page is number 4. There's a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3, and those links are not active. But no, number 4, the summary about sunshine, is active. And if you click that link, it'll put the PDF on your screen, and you can print it or you can save it, and then you'll have all of my notes. And I've also recorded this session, so I'm going to, I don't know where I'm going to post it up, but I'll post it up someplace, and then I'll put the word out so people can watch it if they want to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the privilege of coming into your life again tonight and enjoying this conversation. And I hope that you've found this to be informational and helpful. So
Yes.
next week, we're going to do the same in-depth study on the T for START. And T stands for temperance. So we're going to look at alcohol consumption, tobacco consumption, consumption of legitimate and illegitimate drugs, and see how we can prolong our life and enhance our health and strengthen our immune system by avoiding those things.
Did you say temperament or temperance?
Temperance. And for some people, I'll be giving out free heavy-duty psychotropic drugs after taking them generously myself. All right, any other comments or questions?
When you open the church, Pastor John?
So we started having Saturday morning worship services this past Saturday.
How'd it go?
It was good. It was different. You know, it's just everybody has to sit apart and we all have to treat each other like we're enemies, you know, all this kind of stuff.
That's really made like
We have to dip our hands in alcohol and aloe or whatever that stuff is. But you know what? It was really nice to be together. And honestly, I would love to welcome you and invite you to come. If you're interested, again, go to our church website, southbaychurch.net, and we have to have tracing in place. So we need to know everybody that comes so that in case there's a spike, you know, we can all alert everybody and follow all the CDC guidelines. But I would just love to see you. And I can hardly wait till this is all gone so I can give you all big hugs and kisses.
Thank you, John.
Look
Yeah,
forward.
thank you.
Pastor
right.
John,
Yes,
are you live streaming?
yes, we are live streaming our church service
Okay,
as well. And again, you find that on our website, southbaychurch.net.
thank you.
All right. Well, God bless you all. Thank you so much. Can I pray with you?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
Yes, please.
Dear Father in heaven, we are so grateful to you for this amazing thing called life. And Lord, when we're healthy and strong, we feel like we're indomitable. But we've seen that this little tiny, horrible coronavirus can attack any of us with devastating results. And so we're so thankful that you've built into our bodies this immune system that's capable of finding and hunting down and killing and eliminating viruses and bacteria and germs. And so God, thank you that we've had this opportunity to look in depth at these 8 natural healing remedies, and particularly number 4 tonight, sunlight and vitamin D. And God, I pray that you'll help each one of us to take these natural steps to eat well and to exercise faithfully and to drink plenty of water and then to get plenty of sunshine, 10 to 15 or 20 minutes a day, and how that can boost so many different aspects of this miraculous body you've given each one of us. And
Yes.
so we thank you for life. We thank you for the bodies you've given us. And we thank you for this information that we've learned tonight. And God, thank you for these dear, dear friends, and that I consider them to be family. And thank you that everyone's healthy and strong. And please get us back together again soon in person, and help us all to have a good night's rest tonight, and then to be able to wake up with another beautiful gift of a day from you tomorrow, and use that to make this world a better place and to serve you and your kingdom. And so we thank you, Lord, for hearing our prayer, and we offer this prayer in your holy name. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. Now hug the person over on the left. Come on.
That too.
Okay, now
That's
reach
you.
over and hug the person on the right.
Got it.
Okay, now blow a few kisses. Mwah, mwah,
Mwah, mwah.
mwah. All right, you guys. Love you. Hugs
Bye.
and kisses. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you again, John.
Bye.
Tuesday, if you
you
want to
next
do a
week.
prayer meeting Zoom call, I do that on Wednesday night at 7:30. So if you want to come back, I'd be thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay,
Thank
good night.
Good night.
It's on you.
Night.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Be safe, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
You too.